Morning. There's a few things that I just wanted to put out there. I mean, it's really things that have happened in my environment that were really eye-opening, were scary, and I'm having a hard time to contend with some of the things that are taking place in my life, but I was just devastated the other day. And unbeknownst to me, I wasn't aware of the person who had passed. But once I found out who it actually was, I was just, I was like flabbergasted. I couldn't believe this took place. There is a thrift store that I frequent. And the people that, when you live in an environment and you go to a store quite often, you kind of get to know the people and they become almost like family or friends. I mean, even just acquaintances, right? They know you, you know them. And there was this one particular lady that I met at this thrift store. And when I was going through my health issues and I had gained a lot of weight, I had gone up to 200 pounds. And this lady had been in that type of dynamic and she had lost a lot of weight. And so we kind of formed a friendship based on that. I would talk to her, I would ask her advice, and her advice was, well, it was heartfelt and it worked. It worked. So, I formed a connection with her. It's so hard to even say. So just remember that. I had formed a connection with this lady. She was a wonderful lady. She was, I think she was younger than me. I don't know for sure because I'm in my 60s, mid 60s. And so I'm pretty sure she was close to that age, maybe a little bit younger than me. However, she was working at the thrift store. And that morning I was in there. And, then I went for my walk. And on the way back, I had stopped in. And it was, it was getting on later in the day. And I had done a walk in the morning. And then I believe this was the afternoon. I had done an afternoon walk. Like around lunch hour. Anyhow, I had spoken to this lady at the thrift store in the morning, and this is how quick life can change for anyone, any one of us. None of us are immune, none of us, okay? That morning I spoke to her, and apparently that night or that evening, after her shift, I think it was like maybe, I'm not very sure what time the shift was, but it would have been like 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that, right? And she was walking home, a route that she took a lot. I mean, she knew this route. It was her way home. And there was a lady driving on the highway. And the lady was drunk. She was drunk. Yeah, she was drunk. And she crossed, there was an accident. She crossed the median. So my friend was walking, my acquaintance was walking home, okay? And this individual crossed the median and went into the other line of traffic and then went up on the street on the other side of the road and hit my friend, who was then rushed, my acquaintance, who was then rushed to the hospital. Now, I have to be careful calling her a friend because she was a friend, but she was more of an acquaintance that I would talk a lot to. We talked a lot, but we didn't, go meet for coffee or she come to my house. So she was an acquaintance. That was, I really respected this lady. She got hit by this drunk driver who literally crossed 2 lines of traffic, went onto the other side of the road, and hit this lady. The lady was rushed to the hospital, where she died from her injuries. And it was a couple of days later that I actually learned that it was this lady. And there was a couple of things that kind of pointed me in the direction that it might be someone that I knew because the thrift store was closed down, and they had a sign on the door that said, tragic circumstances has caused us, we're going to be closed for a couple of days to deal with things, right? Well, I can imagine it was one of their employees, and a well-respected, well-loved employee. Yeah. And so, yeah, they closed down out of respect or reverence to this lady. So that's how quick it can happen. It can happen. And, I walk that same route that my friend walked. I walk that same route daily for my exercise. It could have been me. It could have been me. And think about this. This happened after I had returned from my walk. Yeah, I was on my return part of my journey. Okay, this happened. I mean, it's a luck of the draw. It's a luck of the draw that I'm still here. It could have been me walking down the street. It could have been any one of us walking down that street. And someone literally snuffed the life out of my friend due to their addictions or their inadequacies, okay? They took the breath out of my friend. I wouldn't want to live with that guilt for the rest of my life. So even though I am devastated for the loss of this lady, I'm devastated for the person that did it. Can you imagine? My channel is about my healing and about the abuses that I dealt with as a child growing up, okay? And I wouldn't want that karma either. I wouldn't want that karma where I go to bed every night wondering, okay, is someone going to, find out that I'm the one that perpetrated abuse on someone else, right? I wouldn't want that karma. I wouldn't want that. Can you imagine how painful that would be, and living in fear your whole life, or living with guilt your whole life? I wouldn't want that. I would suggest that those individuals get down on their knees and beg forgiveness from the big guy up above, okay? Because, a lot of the times it's hard for us as victims to forgive those people. And even though this lady passed, okay, there are family members that are dealing with the repercussions and the consequences of someone else's indiscretions that took the life of their loved one. Everybody suffers. No one's a winner here. No one at all. So I was horrified to find out that this individual is now gone, that I will never run into them again. I will never, get little tidbits of information from them and have that very friendly and loving conversation with them again. It's heartbreaking. It really, truly is. And I spoke to an individual who was friends with this person, close friends. And they're having a hard time to fathom, to deal with it on a daily basis, knowing that they won't see that individual again, right? So, before you get in that damn car, okay, think long and hard. Think long and hard about what you're doing, right? Especially if you've been drinking, or you've been even using marijuana or whatever your choice of addiction, okay? Think twice, because you're going to destroy your life as well as the person that possibly you may hit. Think twice. So I just wanted to tell you that because I just feel like it's important to acknowledge their journey, okay? And definitely this lady is in my heart. She's in my mind. And Godspeed, my friend.